What is going on, YouTube? Patrick here. Finally, a good sales week in 2022. I knew it would happen. Keep listing, keep staying positive, and it was bound to happen. There were 15 sales last week with a couple of big ones, actually. Um, I totally forgot to get Amber's Weird Sale of the Week set up. I'm going to pause really quickly before getting into it, and I'll get right back. Okay, I am back. I have conferred with Amber. She has given me her weird sale of the week, so we can get right into it then. All right. Item number one. This one was one that I discovered just inside of all of the different parts that I have. I was listing a Dreamcast for sale, and I found it in there, and I decided, got to stick to my rule, look everything up individually and see if it's got any value. I was going to bundle it in with a Dreamcast until I saw how much it was selling for by itself. I wasn't sure if it would add that much value to the Dreamcast itself. So I was like, all right, let's part this thing out by itself. Sure enough, it sold within a few days for basically my asking price. I figured it was worth about $45. I think I ended up listing it for $50 just for the heck of it, and then took the best offer, $45. It shipped in a nice little padded envelope right out the door. Since it was just kind of in with all the other stuff that I already owned about this, I just put $0 as far as the cost on it. Always nice to kind of find these things in stuff you already own. Speaking of zero cost, item number two this week is a router. I actually got this technically dumpster diving. I was taking some garbage out to the dumpsters here. We live in an apartment complex. And this was just sitting on top of the garbage. There had been a family that moved out recently from the building, and they threw a bunch of stuff in there. I quickly just took a look. Usually it's just a bunch of trash, which makes sense, right? People are moving. But they had actually thrown a couple of things in there that were good. So I grabbed them. They were, like I said, sitting on top, so they were nice and clean. They hadn't been in the dumpster very long. And I tested this out. It worked. And I listed it for $50 and took a best offer of $40. So nothing like a free item to get some free profits. Item number three, this was from my friend Liz. When she was helping her parents clear out their house, she got a whole bunch of stuff out of their board games, video games, etc. And this was one of the items. Not a huge ton of value. This is from the Super Nintendo era from Mario Paint. I think I ended up taking like $17.50 best offer with free shipping. So after shipping, it ended up being about $11. I had paid Liz, let's see here, $5 for this basically. So whenever I take on an item like this, it's 40%, 40%, 20%. So 40% of the profits go to me, 40% go to the person I'm buying it from, and then 20% are set aside for fees and shipping materials and stuff. I had basically paid for everything up front instead of letting everything sell and then paying her. I just wanted to get her parents the money up front. So that's what I did. We negotiated a price. Both of us were happy with it and slowly starting to sell through the items. There's going to be at least another one from her this week. So thank you, Liz. Item number four is a Dell Keyboard with mouse combination. This was from my crazy estate sale that I went to in the fall where we bought $250 worth of stuff and it was worth over $2,000. Just an amazing amount of stuff. Some of the stuff wasn't worth quite as much, like this. You can see the Dell Keyboard here sold for $15 plus shipping. The good news is I was only into it for about $2, so really nice amount of profit here. A little bit weird shape though, you guys, right? I had to actually smush two boxes together, so a little bit more work for $15. But in the end of the day, it wasn't too bad, and in general for the entire sale, really, really did well. Item number five is I would call this one weird adjacent, right? There's a blank cassette tape, and it's just a single tape. Looking for different types of bias really is what you're going to be looking at. This one was, I don't remember if this one was normal or high bias, but that's what you're looking for with blank cassette tapes, is high bias. If you can get them cheap, which usually you can at any kind of a garage sale, estate sale, you can usually sell them, especially in bundles, you guys. That's where you're going to make your money here, is if you can get 5 or 10 of the same type and put it up in a bundle, you're going to do really well. And like I said, usually at a garage sale, estate sale, you're going to be able to get these for a few dollars, so really cheap. This one I had gotten for $1 at some point. I don't even know when. And it has been sitting in my for sale pile for a long time. I think I ended up selling it for like $11 or $10.50 free shipping. So after shipping, it was about $7. And like I said, I paid $1 for it. So really not a bad little flip for a cassette tape. Item number 6. This is what Amber has decided is
Amber's Weird Sale of the Week.
I don't question her when she tells me what's weird. This one was weird to her. Titanic board game. This was another from Liz. A ton of board games that they had pulled out of their house from when they were growing up. Some of them were from a little more recent. She has kids, so parents were taking care of her kids too. And so yeah, just a ton mix of different stuff. This one, to me, was just a board game. Looked it up. Usually they're going to have value or they're not. I think I sold it for something like $40 free shipping, something like that. I can't remember, to be honest. After shipping charges, though, was $30, which is pretty reasonable. $8 to me, $8 to Liz. Thank you, Liz. Item number 7, this is an easy one. This is a video game, Ghostbusters for the Wii. During the summer, the price had gone way down to like $6 or $7. So I tossed this into my winter bin, listed it after the holidays, and it sold actually pretty quickly. So I think it sold for $14 free shipping. So after shipping, it's going to be about $10, right? So difference, like a big difference from $6 to $7 all the way up to $10 during the winter. I've noticed that trend too. I'm sure you guys have as well. But during the summer, there's just a lot of video games available from garage sales, estate sales. During the winter, they're not as readily available. So the supply goes down, that drives the price up. So if you can, with some of these games, definitely hold them for the winter, especially those that are like on the margin for where your minimums are for what you want to list individually versus bundle. Or if you're just going to bundle them anyway, that works very well. I was into this one for $1, and then like I said, it sold for $10. So great little video game flip. Speaking of video games, item number 8. This is a Connect bundle for the Xbox 360. These also, right, I tend to pick them up if I can get them for cheap. And then games as well, right? I want to get them as cheap as possible. This one actually had a couple of brand new games in the bundle that I had gotten, thinking they may have value by themselves. A lot of times they do. If I was able to sell them on Amazon, they would have actually sold pretty well individually. But I am still gated there. I am working to get ungated. I'll keep you posted on that. But I was into this total bundle for about $7, and you can see it sold for $30. So very, very easy. These are really fun to test too, you guys. If you haven't ever tested them, they're really fun to play with for, I don't know, 20 minutes, something like that. Definitely recommend it if you like testing video games. More video games with item number 9. This is that Dreamcast bundle that I was talking about when I found item number 1, that HDMI converter this week. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. I'll cut this out. So like I was saying, Dreamcast bundle, I got this in the spring when I bought actually a really nice lot of video games. There was a bunch of Dreamcast games. There was a Nintendo Classic, Super Nintendo Classic, and a PlayStation 1, one of the smaller PlayStation 1 systems. I think I paid $100 for everything. And like I said, I got the 4 systems and a bunch of games. It was a great deal, you guys. So yeah, this one, I put a value of about $17 on it, or cost of about $17, and sold it for $110. I put 2 of the more common games in there. They were sports titles. It's got a controller. It's got the little memory card dealio. I could have done a little bit more work on this and replaced the battery in the system, but it requires some soldering. I decided just to list it as is. Like I said, I probably could have gotten like $120, $130 for it with that fix. I decided to forego that. Let's just do the most efficient, easy way of doing it for me. List it, state the defects, take a little bit of a hit on cost, but it sold. It sold for $110, you guys. It was a great video game sale for sure. Item number 10, speaking of great sales. I've been doing a lot of segues where I've been speaking of today. I don't know why I'm into that, but what are you going to do? Item number 10, you guys can see the sale price. I listed this for $500, took a best offer of $300 on it. Yeah, this one is the sale of the week. It was great. I got this actually at auctionninja.com. It was a local auction where, which, you know, should have been an estate sale, but they're still doing a lot of these as online auctions. And I ended up buying this for $42.73. Yeah, I can be that precise on this one because it was an individual auction, so I know exactly what I paid for it. I was hoping to get like $200 for it. I saw that some of them had sold for a lot more, so I listed high. I don't remember. I said $500, but I may have actually listed it for $600. Not really sure. And then when I got an offer of $300, it was really hard to like not take it, you guys. I took it, shipped it off. It took a little bit more work because it was a big unit. It was heavy, so definitely had to make sure I put some of the big packing tape on there that was nice and sturdy. But yeah, $42 into $300. Going to do really well in this one. This one's going to probably show up again later in the year as a highlight reel, I'm sure. Item number 11, another item from that really amazing estate sale. This is a Braun Clean and Renew package. This is one of those where I'm like, what even is this thing, right? Amber and I had found this towards the end of our trip there. And originally I was like, I think it's worth about $25. I'm like, do we even bother buying this? We've already got so much good stuff. And I was like, you know what? We can't stop buying things just because we found a lot of stuff already. This is going to be a good item. And sure enough, it did sell for about what I thought it was going to sell for. Sold for $26.83 after shipping costs. And I was into it only for about $4, right? So $4 into $26, solid flip. Item number 12. This one's a little weird, I think, too. This is a Cars 3 die-cast metal car from a character Miss Fritter. I feel like I'm constantly buying these things from either Cars or from Planes. Planes, I think, do a little bit better, especially for a few of the characters. But apparently this is a little bit more on the rare side. I'm going to keep my eye out for these going forward. And apparently there's even a few of them that are even bigger. This one's about 4 inches, but there's a couple that are in like the 12-inch range. Definitely look for those. They're going to sell pretty well. If I find one, I'll show you guys. Hopefully you'll be along for the footage. I got this in a bag of other stuff for like $3.99. So I don't know. It was about $2. And it sold for about $7.50 after shipping. I think I had free shipping on this one as well. Was hoping for $10, but I did end up taking a best offer on it. Item number 13, another Connect bundle. Very similar to the last one, another 4 games with this one. This one only had 1 brand new game. So I listed it a little bit lower at $25. I got my asking price, so I'm pretty happy with it. I was also into this one for $7. So nice, easy flip. And like I said, these are really fun to test. Item number 14, a bread and butter item for me, a VCR, right? This one's a Sharp VCR. I think I ended up picking this up for a little bit more cost. I think it was $6.99. And $30 VCR, right? That's about what they're selling for when it's kind of more generic, right? Sharp isn't a Sony. It's not a Samsung, not a Panasonic. The Sony and Samsungs are really good. No remote, so the VCR itself, they usually sell for like $30 or $40. That's about what I would expect to get out of these. The Panasonics especially usually sell for like $40 to $50. The Sonys, I've seen those sell for anywhere from $50 to $70. The Samsung's about the same, especially if you can get the remote, you guys, but right, you're almost never finding remotes at thrift stores. So nice little VCR flip. Item number 15, this is the last item this week. Really, really great bundle item here. I found these a few weeks ago in the toy section at a local Savers, which is a local thrift store. There were 9 packages of these, and 8 of them were the same, and then 1 of them was different, so I've created its own listing. But I put these up, and I put them up as a multi-quantity listing, hoping somebody might be interested in buying all of them. That is exactly what happened. I thought I might be able to get like $65, $70 for these, but honestly, when the person wanted to buy them all, they sent me a reasonable offer. So it ended up being $51 after shipping, and I was into this for $6. That's great for these Nerf darts. Definitely going to look for these again in the future. Who knows if we're going to find them or not, but definitely going to be on my bolo list. So that is going to do it for this week. Like I said, there were 15 sales. I ended up listing about 20 items last week, so not bad. I like to get to about 25. With the Martin Luther King holiday last week, though, I just took the day off, right? I didn't list anything that day. That made sense to me. Cost of goods sold was a little over $100, $113, and I'm estimating my fees at about $115, so about $230. Total sales, $740, right? So about $500 in profit after fees and cost of goods sold. Hours spent, I spent about only an hour sourcing that week. Listing about 4 hours, right? About 4 days of listing. I usually spend about an hour a day listing, and about a couple hours shipping. And I spent actually a good amount of time doing research and stuff. So overall, I spent about 10 and a half hours working on reselling last week. So 500 divided by 10, about $50 an hour in profit. Fantastic week. My goal is $30 an hour. That blows it out of the water. Of course, the last couple weeks were more like $20 an hour. I think if I ever get my end of year recap done, you're going to see that my goal is achievable. I was able to achieve that last year. I think I'm just going to keep that as my goal going forward. Of course, if I can get Amazon going, maybe I can even up that a little bit. That would be really nice. The only way to increase it would be to list more. My goal is to list 25 items a week, though, and I've been achieving that goal. Let's see here. Come back on Saturday. I'm going to have, instead of live thrifting or live sourcing, I'm going to have a top 10 sales of 2022 video. So I think that's going to be pretty fun. Some of the sales were pretty crazy. You may have missed a couple of videos here and there. So this will be a good way to see the top 10 sales of the week from 2022. All right, that'll do it this week. If you've enjoyed this content, please do smash that like button. And if you're interested in subscribing, we'd love to have you as a subscriber. But if you're here just to watch, that's okay. I don't mind at all. Once again, my name is Patrick, and thank you very much.